if you are in that section instead. Okay, two of the main things you're going to need to know about is this page right here. This is the course home page. And on here you have announcements along the left-hand side, and on the right we have the office hours that you can get a hold of me in the office, my contact information, and any Zoom links, and it'll tell you the day and time that that link is good for. Now, in this particular section, O1 Access, that is the Zoom section, so you will typically be coming on Zoom either the day section, Monday at 9:30 or Tuesday at 5 p.m. If you want to physically come to the room, it's room R106, and you can do that instead of Zoom if you prefer. Okay, so when you're going through this, you will need to make sure that you read all of these announcements, particularly this Welcome to Accounting 101 announcement. There will be information in there that may show up on the syllabus quiz. Also here, class attendance. As a Zoom class, you need to show up at one of the two times on Zoom or in person, and you also need to submit a reasonable amount of work that week if you want to be called present. If you are absent, then I am required, after 2 weeks of you being absent, that I'm required to withdraw you from the class. Okay, another section that is important is the content tab. I have everything on the content tab. Now, you won't have as many tabs as I do across here, but the content tab is one of them, and it has all your stuff. If you follow that along, step by step, module by module, you shouldn't have any problems. People who try to look at just the calendar or something end up getting messed up, and they end up missing something, and it causes problems. So make sure you're going along in the content tab. Now, once you get into the content tab, there's modules. Here, the first module is Welcome to Accounting 101. And the syllabus is there. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Here's the syllabus quiz, and you can click on that. It'll take you right to the quiz. It shows you the dates. It opened on Monday the 16th, and you have to have it done by Saturday night, August the 21st. Okay, in this case, you have unlimited time and 3 attempts to try to do well on it. It is scored as a quiz. As you go further into the class, there will be less time and less number of attempts. And then the bulk of the quizzes in the semester are 10 questions. You have 20 minutes and 1 attempt. So you need to make sure that you've looked at the PowerPoints and the videos before you go ahead and take that quiz. This is the Cengage Accounting 101-40. Well, this is not -40, but it doesn't matter. If you click on that, it will take you to Cengage. Now, you need your passcode from your Cengage Unlimited subscription, and you can buy one for $119 for this semester, or you can buy $179, will cover an entire year, and it will cover all of your business classes. So some classes at OC Tech that are not part of the business department may not use Cengage and might not be included, and you'll have to get, if you have an English 101 class, you'll have to get whatever books that class requires. But for all of your business class, that one subscription code that you get And you can purchase it from the bookstore and put it on your financial aid. Okay, the ebook is on there for each of your business classes, is on the Cengage. And once you get in there and you have the ebook, they do give you an option sometimes to purchase, sometimes to rent for $7.99, or sometimes both. They'll give you options to get an actual print edition in your hand. It'll come in a loose leaf paper that has holes punched into it, and you can put it into a binder. If you rent it, you'll have to return it. If you don't have the Cengage passcode yet, you can still go ahead and register this for free for 14 days. And that gives you 2 weeks, but it's 2 weeks from the start of class. So this class started on the 16th. So 2 weeks from then, that you have to get on the Cengage for free. And then after that, you won't be able to do anything if you don't get the passcode by then. If you want to pass this class, you're going to have the book. That's where the assignments are in there. Some of the assignments are right in Cengage. Some of them are in the book that's within Cengage. So it is difficult to pass this class if you don't have Cengage. This technology survey is just an optional thing, but it will help us determine, what our students, it's an anonymous, it doesn't have your name or anything, just help us determine where our students stand as far as technology is concerned, and what we can maybe do to see what help we can provide. Okay, the next module down is Introduction to Accounting, and that is a typical module. Okay, and so here is a PowerPoint show, and then is YouTube videos that is the same as the PowerPoint show. The PowerPoint show doesn't have my voice or anything. It's just a non-narrated plain PowerPoint. And some people prefer that, just to silently go through the PowerPoint at their own pace. If you prefer hearing my voice and watching YouTube videos instead, then just skip that PowerPoint and go here to where it says Introduction to Accounting Equation. It says these are YouTube videos. Okay, so sometimes some of the older videos are like this, where you open it up and there's more than one video there. And so oftentimes with that, you need to right click and say open in new window for it to take you to the YouTube video. Newer videos are where you just click on it and it just goes straight to the video. This ownership structure, this is an Excel file that summarizes what you need to know about ownership structures. And here is Chapter 1, Part 1. It is a Cengage assignment. Now, there are Cengage assignments and there are assignments that are in the ebook, but you have to actually put your answer down on, say, Word or Excel and then upload your answer. So those are called D2L assignments, okay? But this is a Cengage assignment. So if you click on this, it'll take you straight to the assignment. And you just go ahead and do the assignment. It is due by August 25th at 11:30 p.m. So all the modules work the same way. The content, whether there's PowerPoints, again, here's a plain silent PowerPoint, or two videos that together go over that same PowerPoint. And again, same thing here. So the content is there, is always at the top. Here's a YouTube video on the accounting equation, okay? And then if there's any quizzes, they usually come after the content. So here are two quizzes, and they're both due on August 28th. Notice there's a red sentence here, okay? Note, you must take this quiz to be able to access the first exam. When we get to the first exam, if you haven't done this quiz, you aren't even going to see the first exam. It'll just be blank on your page, and you won't even know that you passed the first exam. All of a sudden, you're being withdrawn from the class because you didn't bother to do the first exam. So be careful. Any of these going through on the content tab that have that sentence in red on there, make sure that you do those things on time. Okay, so those two quizzes, both of them need to be done. Okay, now here's another Cengage assignment. This assignment, Chapter 2, Part 4, is a D2L assignment, and it's due on September 1st. It's not all here yet, but there will be a list of accounts, and you have to make a chart of accounts on Excel or Word and then upload them. Now on this final piece here, you can see it's got a hidden marker there, so you will not see this on your D2L. And so this is a homework answer for Chapter 2, Part 4. So this is the answer for this particular assignment, and it will show up to you once we've passed September 1st at 11:30. Once we've passed that due date, then you'll be able to see this answer. It is up to you to check the answer against your work. Now, sometimes in the live lecture, whether you come on Zoom or in person, sometimes in there I will go over the answer. Otherwise, I expect you to look at the answer, compare it to yours, ask any questions either to the tutor or to myself about things that don't match if you don't understand. Okay, and there's the trial balance and worksheet module. Again, the content is on top, then a quiz that's required, and then you have a couple of Cengage assignments, and finally you have another D2L assignment. Here's the answer that'll pop up to the D2L assignment once the due date passes. Then, at the end of this section is Exam 1. Now, here's a YouTube video about how to access the exam, what's on it, how to be successful with it. Okay, and here's Exam 1 study guide. Now, the rest of the semester, you're not forced to look at the study guide, but this first Exam 1, I forced you to at least look at the study guide. You just have to look at it. And again, if you don't click on it and look at it, you're not even going to see Exam 1. It has true-false multiple choice questions on it, doesn't have the answer. You got to look up the answers. But by looking up the answers to those, you will be so much more better prepared for Exam 1. Be sure to ask either me or the tutor about any questions you have regarding the study guides. Okay, so here is Exam 1, and notice it's broken into two parts. There's Exam 1 and there's Exam 1 problems. Okay, Exam 1 is the true-false multiple choice part, which includes mostly concepts and vocabulary, things like that. Okay, and you only have one attempt. You can't pause and resume. So you need to be sure to study before taking the exam. Okay, if you want to have a paper exam in the testing center, if your internet, your computer's crashed, whatever, then just let me know and we can set that up. Otherwise, it's just a basic online exam on D2L. Here's exam 1 problems, and this is where you have to actually do something. It'll be very similar to the homework. It tells you exactly what you're going to have to do ahead of time so you can be prepared. You're going to need to make a chart of accounts and a trial balance, and the other problem, you need to complete a partial worksheet. And these are going to be exactly like homework that you had. So you need to just practice those homework ones till you can do them quickly and easily, and you'll do fine on the problem part of the exam. Okay, your answers, whether you put them on Word or Excel, or if you manually write your answers down, then take a picture, okay, and upload that picture. You can't upload that stuff inside of this exam 1 problems. This is just to give you the information. So you're going to click on there. It's going to take you to the information. You make up your answers, and when you're ready, you hit submit quiz on this answer section. Okay, once you're done, you don't need to look at that information anymore. Hit submit quiz. Then you're going to come here to exam 1 problem upload, which is an assignment Dropbox, and you're going to submit your exam problem documents here. Okay, now these are timed, so the exam 1 part is timed and the exam 1 problems is timed. So I expect to see that you have uploaded your answer, within a handful of minutes or so of hitting submit quiz. I realize it takes a few minutes to organize and get those files, especially if you have to take pictures and whatnot and upload those. That can take a few minutes. But I do not expect to see exam 1 problem upload your uploaded stuff be hours after you hit submit quiz. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the syllabus for this class. The syllabus is posted on D2L, and I made it into a short syllabus of the basic information that you need. And here is our class, Accounting Principles 1, it's Accounting 101. And this contact information is the same as the contact information on the D2L homepage. Please note the email, dooleek@octech.edu. This is my main email. Monday through Thursday, especially, I check it multiple times a day. So if you need an answer to something, that's the one you need to do. If you're inside of D2L and you email me from there, that's dooleek@octech.brightspace.com. And that email I only check once in a while. So you're not going to get a quick response, which is fine if you're just giving me some information like, I have a doctor's appointment, I won't make it to class on such and such a day, or here's my homework, I wasn't able to upload it for some reason on D2L wasn't working, or whatever. Something like that where you don't need a quick response from me, then go ahead and email me it from inside D2L. Otherwise, please use this one if you want a quick response. Okay, office hours are all listed here. Okay, and we have office hours right after class on Monday and right before the Tuesday evening class. plus various other times as well. And it also says, or by appointment. So if you need to see me, come and see me. Here's a course description. We're going through basic bookkeeping and financial statement concepts. And we are learning how some skills, how to do some things. Financial statements are the most important part of accounting. And so we do spend some time with that. Required text is College Accounting, chapters 1 through 15. This says the 23rd edition. What's on Cengage is the 22nd edition, but that's okay. Either one you have, they're pretty much the same, so you don't need to stress, okay? And it needs to be bundled with Cengage now. And again, you will have that ebook as part of your Cengage, okay? Author Heinz and Perry. Now, if you get the Cengage, but you also want a print book, you can find, especially the 22nd edition that we're using on Cengage is an older edition, and you could find that used on Amazon or something like that. Okay, required materials. The Business College at OC Tech requires you to have a laptop. Okay, and so you need to get one. They are available at the bookstore that you can apply against your financial aid if you want. And especially if you're an accounting major, you're going to need a number pad. Even those of you that are not accounting majors, but what you want to do in real life involves you doing a lot at a computer, you're going to want that number pad too, because when you go out there in real life, you're not going to be using your phone calculator to calculate things. You're going to be at a computer. You're going to be at a computer that has a number pad on the keyboard. That's not the numbers that go across the top. That's a section over on the right-hand side of the keyboard that has the numbers 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6 in the middle, and then 7, 8, and 9 on top. So you should start now practicing with those numbers as you do things and practicing on getting faster. An alternative is to purchase an adding machine, an old-fashioned adding machine that you plug in, and many companies still use an adding machine. The number pad, if your keyboard doesn't already have a number pad, you can buy a separate number pad and it plugs in with a USB port. Okay, if you are planning on working all your work on the computer, then you'll need to have access to Word or Excel, and that is available to all students for free. Microsoft Office 365. And so you can download that and that will get you Word or Excel. It is much easier if you have a PC with Windows applications. If you are working manually by hand, okay, you will need real paper, accounting paper, which is available from the bookstore. They have it behind the desk. You have to ask for it. It's $2. You can put it on your financial aid. That gives you 40 sheets. Okay, should be enough. Okay, or you can go to an office supply store, and Walmart also carries it. Okay, so if you're not working manually, you plan on working on Word or Excel all the time and typing your answers, then you do not need to worry about this accounting paper. If you're not attending in person, in other words, you're attending on Zoom, you're also required to have reliable high-speed internet and a camera on your laptop. Now, when you're coming to everyday class, then you don't need to have the camera on your laptop. I will ask periodic questions, and I do expect you have not just put up a black screen with your name on it and have walked off and you're texting and you're not paying attention. Okay, so I will ask occasional questions. If you don't answer, then I assume you're not there and you'll be called absent. Okay, so, but there is one exam which is proctored, and you will need a camera on your laptop for that exam. If you do not have a camera on your laptop, then you can come to the OC Tech Testing Center for that exam. You'll need to be able to view PowerPoint slideshows, YouTube videos, and live scribe pencasts, all of which are free. There's 4 exams that'll count as 60% of your grade. So the bulk of your grade is in those exams. Be sure to study for them and be ready for them. Quizzes are 15% of your grade. D2L assignments that you have to type up an answer is 10% of your grade. And Cengage Now assignments are 15% of your grade. Attendance, you have to come. You have to come to class or you will be called absent. We have lots of flexibility. So there's Mondays at 9:30 to 10:45 or Tuesdays 5 to 6:15. But you got to come to one of them, either in person or on Zoom. And you can change up one week to the next which day or time, or whether you're coming in Zoom or in person. Lots of flexibility, but you need to come to one of them. Okay, so you also have to, the college has determined that everybody needs to submit a reasonable amount of work each week to be called present. So even if you show up at the class and you sit there, you don't say a word, and then you think, well, at least, you know, I'm going to get a 0 for all my homework this week, but at least I won't be called absent and be withdrawn. No, that's not true. You need to show up and you need to submit a reasonable amount of work for that week. Okay, if you don't show up, you're not completing the work, then you will be administratively withdrawn after 2 weeks of getting an absence. Dishonesty and cheating will not be tolerated. In 1929, the great stock market crash was awful, okay? Brought this country to its knees. We had 10 years of the Great Depression, which was far worse than anything we have been involved in. In the mid-1930s, because until then, there was no Social Security. There was no unemployment. There was no stimulus checks. There was nothing. If you were one of the 2/3 of the population that didn't have a job, your family died. That was it. So in the middle of the 30s, Congress got together and said, oh my gosh, we can't let this go on. That's when they started putting Social Security and unemployment benefits and all these other things into place in the middle of the 30s. And they were just barely a safety net. They weren't nice, cushy things like we have now. Also, at the same time, they determined that a large reason why the stock market crash happened that brought on the Great Depression was the fact that these companies were doing their financial statements any way they wanted. They were doing their accounting any way they wanted it. And many of them were fraudulent as well. And so not only people who invest in the stock market, but if you work somewhere where there's a pension plan, that's investing in the stock market. If you have a 401k plan at work, you're investing in the stock market. So when the stock market goes down, all of these things go down. So you lose your pension after working for a company for 30 years, you wouldn't be too happy, okay? Because some fraudulent people caused it to happen. So at that time, in the mid-30s, the Congress said, okay, first of all companies, all public companies, which means that you, the public, can invest in them, all public companies need to do their accounting in a similar way. And that's when generally accepted accounting principles started, which we call GAAP. It's mentioned in chapter 1 of your book, okay? And that's when that started. And so companies all have to use GAAP. Secondly, they said all public companies need to have an independent CPA firm, certified public accountant, come into their offices and check their books and make sure that they're really following GAAP. And then the CPAs will write up a letter that's attached to the financial statements that says, yes, this company is following GAAP, or no, this company's not following GAAP. Okay, and so that all came about. Now, if you're a small private company, you're just got to have your own little company, and if you want to be fraudulent with your accounting, you're only hurting yourself. Of course, the IRS can get after you, but if you're also being fraudulent on your tax returns. Okay, so fast forward to the early 2000s, and here's another big problem. Enron, WorldCom, bunch of huge public companies that ended up being fraudulent. A handful of people at the top of these huge companies were fraudulent and did things wrong on their financial statements. Then their CPA firms, who they were paying millions of dollars to, came in and found the fraud, however, looked the other way. And those companies went down, and so did that CPA firm. It was the biggest CPA firm globally. So you have tens of thousands of people across the planet who lost their job through no fault of their own, tens of thousands of retirees whose pensions went away. It was awful, all because of a handful of fraud of a few and the CPAs who looked the other way. So now what happened is, again, Congress has to step in, and now they have a separate policing organization that looks over the shoulders of the CPAs, and all kinds of new rules for public companies, in which they have to put in internal controls to catch fraud, and the top people of the company have to sign that they understand that they're the ones going to go to jail if any fraud is found. Okay, so the fraud of a few can hurt so much more. So any kind of dishonesty and cheating, as far as I'm concerned, will not be tolerated. This means copying from the internet, copying from each other. That's all dishonesty. That's cheating. Okay? You are supposed to do your own work. Now, working together on homework is one thing, but that still doesn't mean you're taking one person's thing and copying, and the other person hands in the exact same thing. Okay? That means you're working together. You're saying, well, what do you think about this one? And you talk about it, and then you both write down the same thing or both type the same thing up. Doesn't mean one person types it and the other person gets a copy of it and submits it as their own work, especially on an exam. I very closely look at the problems on the exams, and I look at every line and I catch the copying. And I will throw you out of class. I have zero tolerance. Okay, so don't let it be you. All right, the next thing goes down through, these are the chapters that we'll be going through in the weeks that we'll be roughly looking at those chapters. Here talks about the exams and when the exams will be, and you have exam 2 is going to be proctored. Okay, so this means that You have to be watched while you're taking the exam, and you have to have your ID. So it will be during a class period, and I can proctor you on Zoom if you want. You have to have a camera on your laptop. You have to be in a quiet place, no kids, no pets, and your phone has to be off and away from you. Or you can go to the OC Tech Testing Center, or you can physically come to the classroom and bring your own laptop. I don't have computers in that classroom. You'd have to bring your own laptop if you want to do it online, or you can let me know ahead of time and I can bring a paper exam to you to the physical classroom. Finally, there is the possibility of honor lock. Honor lock is something that you pay a fee for if you signed up at OC Tech for a straight online class. This is a class that ended in section 40 or 41. If you have a class like that, it doesn't matter if it's accounting or whatever, if you just have even one class this semester that was a straight online class, then you had to automatically pay the fee for honor lock. And that includes all of your classes. So if you do have an online class, you have automatically were charged the fee for honor lock, in which case you can use honor lock. So that gives you the choice of doing the exam. You still have to have a camera, still have to have quiet, no kids, no dogs, phones off and away from you, all the same stuff, but you could do it at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever you set up with honor lock. Okay. If you need better computer or internet capability to do exams, you can use a computer lab on campus. You can go to the library, use theirs. Okay, so that's, if you know your own internet is spotty, you know your computer's a little iffy, then go ahead. Don't take the chance, because, like I say, there is no pause and resume. So if all of a sudden your internet goes out, then that exam's going to shut down on you. Okay, exam 3 is just a regular online exam, the 4th exam is the final. It will be on Sunday and Monday, December 12th through 13th. And it's just a regular online as well, or you can come to R106 if you want a paper exam at either 10:30 or 5:30 on Monday the 13th. One makeup exam other than exam 2, that was the proctored one, so you can't make that one up. You have, OC Tech says, I cannot, even if you got A's on everything else and you just didn't do exam 2, I cannot give you a grade for the class unless you take this proctored exam. Okay, so make sure you don't miss exam 2. Okay. If you miss another exam or you get a poor score on another exam, then you can take this optional cumulative exam, and that will, whatever score you get on that will take the place of the missed exam. Okay, students will be required to view videos, other resources following taking a quiz, and there are no makeup quizzes given. So make sure that you do the quiz on time. Now, let's say you miss a quiz and it's one of those quizzes that's required for you to then be able to access the exam. I will open the quiz back up again for you to take it so that you can do the exam, but you'll still get a 0 for the quiz itself. So keep on top of the quizzes. Okay. Assignments, there's D2L assignments, there's Cengage assignments. The Cengage assignments are graded by Cengage. They tell you the grades. There's plenty of opportunities before you hit the submit button. There's plenty of opportunities for you to try to figure out the correct answer. So if you've got the time and effort to put into it, you should get a 100 on all of your Cengage assignments. Okay, the D2L assignments are where you do them manually or on Word or Excel. You upload it to me, and these are manually graded by myself. And I score them, however, at a high percentage. If you've done the whole problem and it's reasonably accurate and it's on time, then you're going to get a high percentage. That doesn't mean that that would be the same grade you would get on a test, though. So maybe you get a 90 or a 95, something like that, on a homework problem. But then I post the answers, and I expect you to look at the answers and compare them to yours, make any corrections, and ask any questions. Okay, and so that when it comes to the exam, then you'll be able to do a good job and get a 90 or 95 on the exam, as opposed to if you did the exact same thing, you never looked at the answer, you did the same thing that you did on the assignment, but now that same thing is only getting you a B instead of an A. Okay. Accounting is a topic mastered by doing problems. It's going to require a time commitment, more than just a class that doesn't have these kinds of skills that you have to learn. Late homework will not be accepted. Free tutorial help is available at the Student Success Center in the library, and I'm always available for help. There is a computer lab. If you need to use the library or any other computer area at OC Tech, you will need to bring your own mask, and if it's something that you need to listen to videos or something, you need to bring your own headphones. Okay, if anybody ends up with any questions, either related to D2L or related to the syllabus, please make sure to call or email to me. You can use this communication down to class list, and your entire class is there, okay? And you can email to myself. The tutor, Miss Terry Bowen, is there, and you can email to her through there, but realize this is the D2L email. So this is the email I only look at once or twice a week, okay? But Ms. Terry Bowen, if you want to get a hold of the tutor, that's one way you can do it. You can also go on to OC Tech on the main home web page and go into the Student Success Center, and there will be links there for you to sign up an appointment or get onto Zoom or whatever else you need to do with the tutoring area. Okay, I wish you all the best of luck, but recall that this is going to take some time management, some effort on your part. I am here. I'm willing to go way out of my way to help you. So just get a hold of me if you need me or the tutor. We're both here for you. However, it does require you to actually, you have to do the work. You have to look at the videos or the PowerPoints